Have you ever wondered what actually goes on behind the scenes in a Coca-Cola factory? How that iconic fizz, the perfect sweetness, and the signature color all come together, not by magic, but by science, precision, and decades of engineering? Today we're going step by step through the full process, from raw ingredients to the moment a cold Coke lands in your hand. It all begins with water. Water isn't just a supporting player, it's the foundation of Coca-Cola. At each plant, local water sources are treated rigorously. First, the water is filtered to remove sediment, chlorine, and any unwanted particles. Then it's softened. Hard minerals like calcium and magnesium are gently reduced to make sure they don't distort the flavor. In many facilities, reverse osmosis is used, pushing water through ultra-fine membranes to strip almost all impurities. Once that purified water is ready, it's time to create the syrup, the sweet, flavorful heart of Coke. In stainless steel tanks, operators carefully dissolve sugar or high fructose corn syrup, depending on the plant, into the water. Then this simple syrup is combined with a highly secret concentrated syrup, the legendary Coca-Cola base. This concentrate is shipped to bottling plants in tightly controlled containers, and only a few technicians know the exact proportions of the hidden formula, famously known as Merchandise 7X. After mixing, the resulting finished syrup is tested in a lab. Technicians check the Brix level, how much sugar is dissolved, the pH, how acidic it is, and the flavor, to make sure every batch tastes like the classic Coke we know and love. Once approved, the syrup is cooled to just a few degrees Celsius, typically around 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, because cold liquid helps the next step: carbonation. Carbonation is what gives Coke its signature sparkle and bite. Once the beverage is fully carbonated, it's ready for bottling, but before that, there's one more check: quality control. The mixture is continuously monitored for CO2 levels, sweetness, and flavor consistency. Only after it passes these checks is it sent down to the filling line. Now let's talk about containers and where things get really high speed. Empty bottles or cans arrive on huge conveyor belts. For plastic bottles, what arrives first is not a bottle but a preform, a little test tube-shaped piece of PET plastic. These preforms are reheated and blow molded in real time, heated, stretched, and inflated with air to match the exact shape and size of the final bottle. Once the containers are ready, they move to the rinser. Here, they're flipped upside down and rinsed with sterile water or air to make sure no dust, particles, or contaminants remain. Immediately after rinsing, they pass under high-speed filling nozzles. The carbonated Coke is injected at just the right pressure to minimize foaming, and this all happens in a fraction of a second. Right after filling, each container is sealed. Bottles are capped, cans are seamed, and each one is locked in to preserve carbonation. Then, as they finish, they go through labeling machines. These machines print batch codes, expiration dates, and plant information on each container for traceability. After labeling, the drinks are grouped for packaging. Depending on the plant, they might go into cardboard packs, shrink-wrapped multi-packs, or crates. Multi-packs are arranged, wrapped, and palletized, ready to be shipped out to distribution centers. Behind this seamless flow, there's a web of quality assurance. Many plants run according to ISO 9001 and ISO 22000 standards, which means food safety and quality are built into every step. Even the bottles themselves go through inspection. Machines scan and reject any with irregularities. We should also talk about how the bottles themselves are made. Because Coca-Cola doesn't just mix ingredients, they often make the bottles on site. Resin pellets, PET plastic, arrive at the plant, are dried to remove moisture, and then fed into injection molding machines. In these machines, the molten resin is injected into preform molds. Once the preforms are made, they're heated, stretched, and blown into shape through a stretch blow molding process right on the production line. Once bottles are blown to shape, they rejoin the conveyor line for rinsing, filling, capping, and labeling, like we discussed. That's the full journey from raw plastic to fully sealed, labeled Coke. One of the most fascinating parts of the process is how Coca-Cola sources and maintains its formula security, the famous secret recipe. The company divides the flavor formula into merchandises, each numbered, so no single facility knows the entire recipe. Those merchandises are mixed in precise proportions, but even then, only certain people are allowed to know the full details. This level of secrecy ensures consistency across the world. Every bottle of Coke tastes like Coke, no matter where it's made. On the logistics side, Coca-Cola runs a massive, intricate supply chain. Their concentrate is shipped to bottling partners around the world. Water treatment, mixing, carbonation, and packaging all happen at these bottling plants, which are often independently owned below the corporate level. This franchise model allows Coke to scale globally without owning every plant, and it keeps production local in many markets. An important note, Coca-Cola doesn't just rely on new plastic bottles. Many of its container lines now use recycled PET, rPET. At their plants, 100% recycled resin is delivered in silos, dried, and then used to create bottle preforms. That's part of their sustainability push, and it helps reduce the environmental footprint of packaging. Of course, safety and quality are more than just inside the plant. Every ingredient, from the sweetener to the secret concentrate, is tested. Water is monitored, syrup is tested, carbonated blend is sampled, containers are inspected. The entire line is under continuous quality control. And that's how Coca-Cola transforms its secret recipe into billions of bottles and cans that end up on shelves every day. It's a marvel of modern manufacturing, combining chemistry, engineering, massive automation, and a deep respect for consistency. In the end, what makes Coca-Cola manufacturing so impressive isn't just scale, it's precision. From water purification to blow molding bottles, from secret syrup to carbonation, every step is optimized to reproduce the exact flavor and experience that people have tasted for decades. But there's another layer to Coca-Cola's factory process that often goes unnoticed: the choreography of automation. When you step onto the factory floor, the first thing you notice isn't chaos, but rhythm. Every conveyor, filler, and capper is timed to perfection. Robotic arms glide in to lift trays of bottles, sort them, and stack them for dispatch, almost like an orchestra where every machine knows its cue. There are sensors tracking thousands of data points every second: temperature, pressure, CO2 saturation, fill level, and even label alignment. If a single reading drifts outside tolerance, the system automatically flags it, isolates that batch, and adjusts in real time. It's manufacturing intelligence at its best, blending human oversight with automated precision. And it's not just about speed, it's about hygiene. Coca-Cola factories operate under what's known as clean room standards for beverage bottling. The air inside is filtered, pressure controlled, and temperature regulated to prevent contamination. Workers wear hairnets, gloves, and sanitized shoes before stepping anywhere near the production lines. The filling rooms are often sealed, accessible only through airlocks, and everything that touches the drink, from hoses to valves, is made of food-grade stainless steel. Between production runs, the entire system undergoes what's called CIP, or clean in place. Heated cleaning solutions, detergents, and sterilizing agents are pumped through all pipes and tanks automatically, ensuring not a single trace of residue remains. It's a process so rigorous that every cycle is logged digitally and signed off before production resumes. Beyond cleanliness, the Coca-Cola system is obsessed with consistency. The company's global labs, often called flavor quality centers, constantly analyze samples from factories around the world. These labs maintain what's called the golden standard, a reference Coke flavor profile that every factory's output is compared against. Technicians use sensory panels, gas chromatography, and spectrophotometers to make sure the aroma, acidity, and sweetness align perfectly with the standard. Even slight differences in local water chemistry are compensated for through fine-tuned mineral balancing in each plant's purification system. It's why Coca-Cola tastes the same whether you're sipping it in New York, Nairobi, or New Delhi. Energy efficiency is another hidden story. A modern Coca-Cola bottling line uses sophisticated energy recovery systems. Waste heat from compressors and pasteurizers is captured and reused to preheat cleaning water. LED lighting, automated shutdown protocols, and motion-activated equipment all reduce idle energy draw. Many facilities now operate partially on renewable energy, from solar panels on rooftops to biomass boilers that power sterilizers. In regions with water scarcity, Coca-Cola invests heavily in water stewardship projects, from rainwater harvesting to local watershed restoration, ensuring that every liter of water used is returned to the environment in some form. The company even aims to achieve water neutrality, meaning it gives back as much water as it uses. But what about the iconic glass bottles? Those follow a slightly different process. In many countries, glass Coke bottles are still returnable. After collection, they're sent back to the factory where the journey begins anew. Trucks unload crates of used bottles, which are then sent through high-temperature washers. Each bottle is blasted with detergent and jets of hot water at around 70 to 80 degrees Celsius to remove any residue, labels, or adhesive. They're then visually and electronically inspected. Cracked or imperfect ones are rejected. Once clean, they re-enter the same filling line as new bottles. This cycle of reuse can happen up to 20 times per glass bottle, reducing waste dramatically. Watching it happen is like seeing a loop of sustainability in motion, a model of circular economy long before the term became trendy. The Coke factory isn't just a production site, it's a symbol of modern logistics. Picture this. Every few minutes, a fully loaded truck rolls out of the loading bay. These trucks carry cases of bottles to regional depots and retail partners. The coordination between production and distribution is controlled by software that forecasts demand based on weather, season, and sales data. For example, during a heat wave, the system automatically boosts production of smaller bottle sizes and cold chain packaging. Coca-Cola's logistics system even tracks real-time location of trucks, ensuring the freshest product reaches stores within hours of leaving the plant. Another fascinating aspect lies in microfiltration and flavor precision. The sugar concentration, Brix value, is checked repeatedly during production, sometimes every 10 minutes. If the Brix deviates by even 0.1 units, the system corrects the flow of syrup and water automatically. The carbonation level, measured in volumes of CO2, is adjusted depending on packaging. Cans typically have slightly higher carbonation than plastic bottles because they retain pressure better. Even temperature during filling matters. Colder liquids hold more CO2, so plants chill the mixture to the ideal range before injection. These scientific nuances ensure the drink has the same effervescent bite, whether it's popped open from a can or poured from a 2-liter bottle. Let's not forget the role of people in this highly mechanized environment. Despite the automation, human skill and judgment remain critical. Operators monitor control panels, quality inspectors take random samples, maintenance teams tune machines and replace worn-out parts. In the syrup room, technicians manually verify concentrate quantities before mixing. In the quality lab, trained tasters, yes, real human tasters, sip coded samples daily to detect subtle flavor differences machines can't sense. The combination of human instinct and machine accuracy keeps the process balanced and reliable. If you found this peek inside the Coke factory mind-blowing, hit that like button, subscribe for more behind-the-scenes deep dives, and drop a comment. What other everyday product do you want to see broken down next? Thanks for watching.